So Sam, welcome to the show.
How's it going? Thank you very much. I'm delighted to be here.
Great. I'm glad to have you on. You're the first musical guest that we have.
Brilliant.
How do you feel about that?
Brilliant. I feel absolutely honoured, first time.
Well, Sam,
Yeah.
look, you're very talented, and I'm not going to lie, I've been obsessed with your Instagram the past couple of days, and your YouTube.
Oh, no way.
So
That's
look,
brilliant, man. That's brilliant.
yeah, take me back to the start. How does all this get started?
I'm literally singing since before I could talk nearly, since I could make sounds, I'm taking out melodies, I'm
Oh,
singing. Yeah? I love it. I think it's what I was born to do, I've kind of been doing it my whole life, and even when I was a child, I used to do soprano stuff, so kind of operatic stuff.
Yeah.
Then I picked up a guitar then when I was about 11. I started kind of getting into pop, kind of folky, different kind of music, and I kind of figured my way down that road, and here we are today.
Wow. How much I wish I was you. I cannot sing for the life of me. But so you were singing and playing guitar since you were young. Wow.
Oh,
and
yeah, very young, yeah.
Do you have a musical family? Why do you think you got into all this?
No, my mom was a singer, so she kind of reared me on singing, but other than that, guitar's not been in my family. My dad just wanted me to play the guitar, so he got me a guitar when I was really young and said, here you go, just play that there. And I eventually went for lessons, and it all kind of evolved like that. But generally speaking, I haven't really got a musical family now. I just kind of picked it out of nowhere.
And a lot of people, their parents would kind of put them onto music or something. I know a girl, her parents put her onto piano when she was young, and she said at the start she hated it, but she grew to love it. Is that kind of how it was for you, or did you always love it?
Well, when I picked up the guitar at first, I used to get really frustrated because, when you're starting something, I found it very awkward to do chords and stuff like that, and I was getting frustrated that I wasn't good, you know what I mean? But eventually I kept at it, and I kept hacking away, and I eventually got to a decent level, and that was when I kind of really started enjoying myself, and kept going from there, and I love it.
Yeah. That's really good. And when did you start writing songs? So if you started when you were really young?
I started writing songs when I was about 12 or 13, and I've been writing ever since, non-stop.
Wow. I've always wanted to wonder this though, what comes first? Is it the music or the lyrics?
It depends. Sometimes you could be just sitting there chilling out, and you find yourself a chord line, you're like, oh, I like that, that's a cool idea. And you're there playing the chords over and over and over again until something pops into your head, maybe a melody to go with it, and you're humming the melody, and you're like, now that needs some lyrics. That's a really cool piece of music. If that was to be broadened and get some lyrics to it, you kind of just phonetically find some lyrics in your head. So there's that way of doing it, where you just paste it together from music. Or sometimes you could just sit down and write a poem, and then you'd be like, I like that poem, I like the rhythm of the poem, I like the lyrics, and I want to put it to music. So you'll have to go off then and find chords. So it's kind of nearly a 50-50 thing. It's whatever way you want to write a song, many different ways.
And do you know your songs? Do they come from a place of emotion, or is it just something that pops into your head and you're like, oh, that might be cool?
It's a bit of both, really. It's a lot of them are based on experience, absolutely. Some are emotional experience, some are not so emotional experience. Some could just be from observing what's going on around me, do you know what I mean? I pick it up and be like, that'd be cool in a song if I wanted to express that in a song. And some are from deep emotion at the same time, where I have to get something out of me, and it has to go down onto a piece of paper and to be written down, to be expressed through music. And that's the wonderful thing about music, where you can express anything you want with it, you know what I mean?
Exactly. And myself now, I tried to write some poems in the past, and it didn't really go well. Most of them evolved around heartbreak and shit like that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's the best way to do it,
That's the best way to do it, isn't it? But what was I gonna say now? Yeah, they just don't really turn out too well, and I don't know where to go from there. But I think it's a good way to get out your emotions instead of bottling it up. Instead of, if you don't feel like talking to someone, sometimes writing it down, or writing a poem, or drawing a picture, doing something artistic can help you get that out. Is that kind of how you feel as well?
Absolutely, yeah. Even if you're not great at it, you just sit down there and write it out on a piece of paper and get it out of your head. down onto the bit of paper, you've expressed that emotion onto the page, you know, and it's so helpful. It's unbelievable. Like, even it doesn't matter no matter what your ability is, you just get it down on the paper, and it's a weight off, total weight off.
Oh, 100%. And
yeah.
so you're really good at writing songs. Is this what you want to do in the future?
Oh, absolutely. You know, this is what I aspire to do. This is what I'm working for every day, non-stop, constantly at it, doing something, because it's what I want to do. You know, it's the only thing I picture, the only thing I see myself doing. I don't see myself doing anything else. So
you're very passionate
this
about
fails, I don't know what's going to happen. yeah, I'm very, very passionate about it, yeah.
Well, do you think nowadays, with like the rise in social media and all that, do you think record labels are necessary to like make it in music?
Absolutely, I do think record labels are still necessary. Yeah. For the likes of promotion and stuff like that, and organising and all that kind of things, record labels are still absolutely very relevant, you know. But social media does help in a lot of ways too, you know.
It does, doesn't it? And do you think though,
it really does.
record labels, because a lot of things I've heard from record labels, it does seem kind of scammy, you know. They take a lot of money from the artists, and like, how do you feel about record labels?
Well, it depends on what kind of deal you get at the same time. You know, I personally haven't got a deal yet, but hopefully in the future. But some record labels, most record labels are generous enough, and they do a lot of work for you at the same time, you know. So, no, I'd say that, record labels are definitely good to have on your side, you know.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And you also go out busking too, don't you?
I do. Well, I haven't been out in quite a while now because of COVID and stuff like that, but yeah, you know, that dreaded C word.
Oh.
But before COVID, I was out there every weekend. Any time I had a free day or a little bit of free time in a day, I'd be out there in town, busking away, sticking my pigeon chest out, you know, expressing myself. And it's, you know, the wonderful thing about busking is that it's a challenge, you know what I mean? You've all these people walking up and down the street, and you have to try and get them to stop and listen to what you're trying to, what the message that you're trying to get out, you know what you mean? And,
exactly.
I just love it. I love it. And it's all about cutting your teeth as well, learning your craft, getting out there, getting the job done, learning day by day different things, like how to deal with crowds, how to deal with people, what people like and what people want to hear. It's all different things that you're learning like that every single day, and I think it's a wonderful thing, you know?
I've always wondered that though, like people are just walking past while you're trying to make it and like sing your soul out. Does that get discouraging? Like obviously from day to day is different too, because other days you would have giant crowds and everything around you.
Yeah, no, you have to remember at the same time, not everybody wants to hear you.
Yeah.
And you're not going to please everybody, and you just have to accept that sometimes. But there is the small minority of people that are going to really like what you're doing, and you have to just stick with that, you know what I mean? Stick with the positives and go with that. Follow it.
So when was your first time busking?
I was 13. Yeah, I was 13 the first time I went busking, 2 or 3 years ago now.
Wow. Was it scary? I bet it was scary.
Busking ever since. Yeah. It was scary going out at the start. I was very nervous. My legs were trembling, you know, the knees were going, all that kind of stuff. But now after a while, I got very comfortable, and I started to realize this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is what I'm meant to do. I'm meant to be out performing, and I just loved it, and it became a second nature after a while, you know?
Yeah. And since you've been doing it for like quite a while, do you have any crazy stories or strange stories from busking? Because there's a lot of weird people out there now, to be fair.
Well, I've plenty of strange stories, alright, you know, there's a lot of different people you meet out in the street, and I've actually a cool story, a very, very cool story that I want to actually share with you here. So about 2 years ago, I was out busking on Grafton Street, and there's this guy walking up and down, you know, he's watching me, kind of paying close attention, just like listening, throwing the odd ear in. And he came up to me when I finished my set, and he said, how's it going? I really like what you're doing here, keep that up. And he was asking me different questions, like we were conversing for a while about music and different things like that. And he was like, listen man, you're very good, make sure you keep it up, like it's very, very cool what you're doing. And I said, thank you very much. Anyway, I waved him on. It's just a routine conversation, you know what I mean? And he went down the street, and I packed up my gear and I walked up the street. I got about halfway up the street, and this guy ran after me, and he was like, Sam. I was like, yeah, how are you doing? Can I help you? And he was like, yeah, you can't help me. So I'm doing a gig tonight. And I said, okay. He said, I was wondering if you'd like to come in and sit in with me and sing a song. I said, yeah, that'd be absolutely brilliant. You know, thinking it'd be some small venue around the corner. And I'd be like, yeah, that'd be a bit of crack, you know, just a bit of crack. But it turns out that this guy was Keith Urban, who is a country singer, very big country singer in America. Yeah, and he invited me up to sing on stage in the 3 Arena in front of 13,000 people that night.
Oh my God.
About 3 hours later.
That exceeded my expectations now with the story that you told.
Yeah, that was a pretty wacky story. So like I literally went in the space of 3 hours. Like this is 5 o'clock and it was on at 8 or 9 o'clock. Like I went from playing to 16 or 20 people on Grafton Street in Dublin to playing to 13,000 people in the 3 Arena in Dublin.
Holy
So that was
crap.
pretty mental indeed, you know. That was certainly a life-changing experience. That's where I gained a huge amount of confidence in what I'm doing. And I said, okay, I can really do this. That's a major step that I've just taken in the space of multiple hours. And I can go for this now and I can follow it. And, you know, and that was a big light that I had.
But, like, how kind of him as well.
Oh, absolutely amazing. Like, I thank him every day nearly. And, like, I'm just, thank you. It's just absolutely amazing what you did for me. You know, you've made my life.
Did you know who he was? Did you know who he was at the time?
On the street? No, I didn't have a clue who he was.
Yeah.
But you know, I went around the corner and Googled, and I was like, "No way!"
Yeah.
I was like, it was when he said the 3 Arena as well. I was like, okay, this guy means big business, you know?
Oh, big time, yeah.
Yeah. And so that was fairly mental.
So what happened after then?
Well, in the following week, I was up in a load of media. So I was on radio up in Northern Ireland. I was on Ireland AM and on TV3 at the time, which is now Virgin Media. And I was on the Ray Darcy show on RT1 the following Saturday night as well. So I was on, loads of things, and I was kind of got a good bit of media attention for that week. And then a few people, obviously, on the street when I went back out busking 2 or 3 weeks later, obviously people were recognising me from being on the telly a few weeks before, you know what I mean? And that was pretty mental as well.
That is
amazing.
People,
even to this day, people that were at the concert, they'd still come up to me like, I saw you in the 3 Arena, and I was like, no way.
Wow. So would you say that's probably your proudest moment in your whole career, I guess?
Yeah, it certainly would be the milestone.
Oh,
proudest moment so far anyway.
And do you have any other goals in mind where you want to go from here?
Yeah, I want to obviously start releasing songs in the next year. I'd plan to have a song out and all by now, but obviously COVID happened. I wanted to postpone that, and we'll go again some other time. We'll get my singles out and then maybe an EP, and then when I build up a decent fan base, maybe an album, and you never know what'll happen after that. You know, my main goal is to make a living off music and make a successful living off music. Hopefully, that's the idea.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I don't know too much about the music industry. I'm more of a film guy, you know. But has COVID really affected the music industry as much as it's affected everything else?
Yeah, really badly. We're very, very suffering. We're struggling here. You know, there's no money coming in for any, I'm quite lucky enough whereby I'm not making a living off it just yet, but there are people out there that rely solely on the events and the music industry for income. And, you know, that's not coming in at the moment because there's no gigs or anything like that. So there is certainly quite a lot of people that are really struggling out there. Yeah. And, you know, they're very isolated, and, you know, what they're born to do and what they've been doing their whole life, they can't do at the moment, which is very, very hard for certainly a lot of people. And I find it hard myself, you know, the fact that I'm really missing gigs. I'm really missing being out there, being performing in front of people. And, you know, it's struggling quite a lot, you know.
Oh yeah, big time. And the amount of concerts that got cancelled at COVID. Remember at the start, we didn't think it was going to last long, and then here we are now.
I was thinking 2 weeks at the start, and now it's it'd probably be 2 years at this stage nearly.
Remember at the start we were like, oh my god, 2 weeks off school, yo.
Yeah, it was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It's handy 2 weeks off school, but I wouldn't mind going back now. I think I've had enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And what's your online school like?
It's not too bad. Like it could be worse, but like I certainly would prefer to be in school. Like, you know,
Big
seeing
time,
people and being social rather than sitting in front of a screen all day.
Oh, it's harder to focus too that way, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is. It's very tough to focus.
So like,
And
I'm
you're
sure.
getting distracted by all these different things going on around you in a busy household as well. You know.
Oh, stop! I'd be checking my phone during Irish, going on TikTok and all that. But surely everybody in your school knows that you do music and you're a singer. You're kind of a big shot. Like, I would say you're a big shot.
Yeah,
in school.
the majority of them do. Like, they all know what I've done and what I'm doing still. You know, so they're all fairly proud of that. I would say, like, a lot of them, I'd be fairly well respected in the school for that, and a lot of them would say hello as they're walking past. You know, stuff like that. You know, they'd all know me for that. You know.
Yeah.
Not to blow my trumpet or anything, but like they would.
No, you seem like a good guy. But look, if you could collaborate with anybody on a song, alive or dead, who would it be?
That's a very, very tough question.
I know.
If I could collaborate with anybody on a song, I'd have to go with, I suppose. Well, there's a good list of them anyway.
Yeah.
Certainly a good list of them. Like, so Gavin James, Dermot Kennedy, Chris Martin from Coldplay. I'd love to work with him.
He's very good.
I'd love to do something with the Beatles, but obviously that can't happen, and that never would happen anyway. But it would just be so cool to work.
Paul
with
McCartney's still here. Hit him up on Instagram.
Absolutely, that would be absolutely amazing to work with Paul McCartney, and all different kinds of artists like that. Johnny Marr as well. I think he'd be very cool to work with.
Yeah.
And all these different kind of guys, they'd be very, very cool to create something with.
What about Damien Rice? Do you like Damien Rice?
Damien Rice, absolutely. That'd be absolutely brilliant.
He's incredible
as well. Yeah, the way he expresses his music is just unbelievable. He doesn't lie. He doesn't, like, there's no BS about him. He just puts what he wants on the page, and he puts out what he wants. He doesn't care about the emotion that's in it. He just wants people to hear it, and it's just amazing.
Oh my god! And like, he doesn't censor out some stuff either. He's like, no, bullshit, and like, it's just amazing.
There's no censoring with him. Let me tell you, now there definitely isn't. Like,
and he's Irish too, isn't he?
He is. Yeah, he's from Ireland. Yeah.
I only found out about him like a couple of months ago, and I'm glad I did. Really glad.
Yeah.
I learned a couple of The Blower's Daughter.
He's a very cool. The Blower's Daughter is very good, and the stuff he does with Lisa Hannigan as well is amazing. You know,
he seems like such a genuine guy.
Which?
He seems like a genuine guy, as well.
Oh, he really does. Yeah. No, he's very down to earth, very cool guy. I haven't met him myself, but from what I see, he's a very, very genuine guy.
Yeah. So would everybody there that you named out be kind of inspirations to you?
Absolutely, and even I forgot to mention, of course, Hosier as well. All those kind of guys. Yeah. They'd be certainly very inspirational to me. Yeah.
Do you have any main one that sticks out, like as an inspiration that you look up to?
Let me think. The one that sticks out, probably Chris Martin from Coldplay.
Chris Martin.
I've liked him for a very, very long time. Since a very young age, I've been listening to Coldplay, and I've been watching their live shows, and I've just been in awe. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. All the color and the effects and all that, and his music, of course, as well. He's such an incredible musician, and I've looked up to him since a very, very young age, and I always will.
Yeah, definitely. Well, look, are you gonna perform something for us?
Yeah, I'll sing one of my own songs for you if that's all right.
Do. I'll shut up and what are you singing for us?
I'm gonna sing one of my own songs called "A Summer's Day."
A Summer's Day, love it.
A Summer's Day, yeah. So I wrote this song last summer about a girl that I liked that didn't like me back.
Oh, that's a hard one.
Just the usual, you know? The usual.
I can relate, definitely.
Oh, absolutely. It goes like this. A Summer's Day.
Okay, I'll shut up.
I could have thought that you were mine, but I was just confused. playing with the leaves that fell from trees. We were so close yet so far away. You had my heart for a couple months, then you hung it out to dry. 'Cause you made me feel like November on a summer's day. And though I can justify my feelings, you took them all away. Let us roam down the street that we grew up on together. We can talk all about us and all the stuff like cars and music. You had my heart for a couple months, then you hung it out to dry. 'Cause you made me feel like November on a summer's day. And though I can justify my feelings, you took them all away. Could we be, should we be, will we ever be? Could we be, should we be, will we ever be? You made me feel like November on a summer's day. And though I can justify my feelings, you took them all away. 'Cause you made me feel like November on a summer's day. And though I can justify my feelings, you took them all away. You made me feel like November on a summer's day.
Oh my god, that was incredible, Sam.
Thank you very much.
Oh,
Thank you. I hope
man.
you enjoyed that.
That was amazing. Highlight of the show so far, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate
Sam,
that.
Look, thank you so much for coming on. Is there any socials
No
or anything
problem.
you'd like to promote?
Well, yeah, I'm on Instagram and I'm on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, all a lot. At Sam Clifford Music, if you want to check that out.
Yeah, perfect. Well,
All
thank
right,
you for
so
coming on,
that's-
Sam. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it was a pleasure. Absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.